see. We've got, all right. So, oh, yeah. No, I mean, these are just, I really like virtual improv and to play with people all over. I'm a big fan of that.
Yeah, I think it's become its own thing now, isn't it? It's different to what you see in a show. It's got its own genre now.
I
Zoom
mean,
improv.
yeah, it's like it's this or nothing, at least where I am right now. It's kind of like we
Yeah.
can do this or we can do nothing because we can't go on stage. Like we're used to. So
And it gets us to do stuff like this, like across the Atlantic, which we wouldn't be able to do normally.
totally. I mean,
So
that's the thing. That's the best, the bright spot about this.
exactly, yeah. And it's been really fun meeting people from all over the world and playing the same games. It's like, that's the game we play in Liverpool.
It's also fun to be like, oh yeah, like I know that game. You start playing the game and it's like, oh no, we have the same name for different games. Okay.
Or it's very slightly different. Like there's
Yeah.
one rule that's like, oh no, we don't quite do it like that.
We have pick a number between 1 and 41.
Oh wow. 27.
Oh, perfect. All right, 41, 40, 39, 8, 7.
Just keeping you counting.
Very high tech. 36, they're on 30, 29, 27. All right. So this comes from Kyle, and our suggestion is landslide. Landslide.
Ah.
Thanks, Kyle.
Well,
Yeah.
congratulations.
Thank you. Oh my God. It's so hard to believe. It's and a huge margin. It's so hard to
I
believe.
know. I mean, that campaign just paid off. Like everybody loves you.
The time is now. It's like, okay, the time is now.
Brilliant. Brilliant. The time is now.
I mean, it's got four different meanings. You could say the time is now,
Yeah.
right? You could say the time is
Or,
now.
or, or the time is now.
Time is now. The time is now. I mean,
Yeah.
it's all how you interpret it.
Yeah. And that'll keep us going every year. We can change it over the 4 years. We can do one a year, can't we? And
Yeah.
you're just going to be such a good leader for this team.
I mean, I don't want to. I'm gonna say this is a pun, and you're probably gonna groan, but I mean that slogan, "The time is now," is timeless. It's timeless.
Well, exactly. And I just think with this time we've got,
Yeah.
now is that time to make a difference in our village and in our town. And I I'm just so proud of you.
What?
You've
Really?
overcome so much to get to this point.
I. Oh God.
No, it's all right. It's all right. You have.
But you. I mean, I know you're proud of me, but the fact you said it. Okay.
Yeah, and I know I should have said it more. I don't really
You know
say
why
it.
you did? You know why you shouldn't have said it? Because the time is now to say it. That's why you should have said it now. You should
Yes.
have said it before. If you had said it before, I wouldn't be where I am now.
No.
Oh God.
Because now is that time. And I'm so pleased that you appreciate this. And it's
I've
so true. It's so true. I really am so proud of you right now in this time.
I
It's all right. Hey.
oh God. I've always, oh my God. I didn't think I was gonna cry. I didn't.
But this is because you've worked so hard all this time. You haven't had the time
I
to
haven't.
cry.
Oh, oh God.
And yeah, well done. You've got to let it out.
It's been, I mean, this has been a long journey, and I mean, I feel like winning is secondary to you being proud of me. I feel like that's the title. That's what I, I mean, you I don't think you understand the kind of impact that has on me or you've had on me. So thank you.
It's an absolute pleasure. I mean, that could be another slogan, but we'll come to that. We won't think about that right now.
Do you mean, well, I thought
Like,
it's an absolute pleasure I mean, that's a great slogan campaign.
well, yeah, we've got a lot we could still do. I mean, this could be the beginning. We could, oh, I know. You're just so overcome.
I mean, it's like, I kind of feel like you should have ran because all the ideas are coming from you. This could be the beginning.
You know, I've
Hey,
had your back this time. And I think we're a good team, I think. I mean, why can't you run in pairs? Why? Why can't you run together?
I mean, it makes sense. I mean, you have
This as
somebody who
well.
wins, but then there's somebody who's like the vice to that, the assistant.
Why? Why be a vice? You could be equal.
Sorry, I had to leave
That's
for a
all right.
second.
I know. It makes me speechless too.
I mean,
It's a lot to take in.
I'm writing these notes down because there's no way, if you think about it, there's no way that I should just be mayor. There's absolutely no, I need someone there. So I want you to be my co-mayor.
Co-mayor, yes. Love it. Love it.
The time is now.
Yeah. Our time is now.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Our time is now.
Are you joking? That ilk?
Our time is now.
Yes.
Yeah. We've got a lot to play with. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think the question is a good start. It's like our time is now, and then you realize, no, our time, and it's not just our time is now, and it's, my God, it's yours and my time is now.
It's our collective time.
Is now.
But the problem is, we've been talking about this for a while. So is the time now or was the time earlier? Because we've got to maintain that time.
I mean, if our time is now.
Yeah.
Really?
Your time was about 7 minutes ago.
Yeah, our time is now, and time in that sense is kindly irrelevant because it's always now. So no matter when it is, it's always now. Our time.
Always now. There we go. We've got it. It is always now.
Are you right now? And be honest. You've got to be honest with me, Terry. Yeah. Right now, are you proud of me?
Joel, I am so proud of you. I'm so proud. I really am.
If I had lost, and our time wasn't now, but if I had
Mhm.
lost, would you still be proud of me?
Yes, I would. I would still be proud of you.
So,
Do you know what? This isn't about the campaign. This isn't about being co-mayors. This isn't even about the election. This is about us.
so no matter what the outcome,
Yeah,
our time is now.
our time is now.
You're proud of me.
Always.
And you're not just saying that because we're family and you got to say it. You're saying it because you mean it.
I 100% promise you that I mean it, because that's what sisters are for, isn't it? Like,
Yeah.
from the moment you took your steps, remember? Do you remember? Well, you might not, but I was there.
I do. I do. I do. That was my first clear memory. I mean, I was a late walker. I walked, I was 3. I didn't want to walk up to that point, but I remember, yeah.
When you did it so well, and so you just zoomed it like this election. You were a late bloomer.
Yeah.
Coming into the mayorhood, but you did it, and you did it well.
Can I tell you anything? I feel like I could tell you anything.
Well, of course you can. I'm your big sister. You can tell me anything.
And you'll still be proud of me?
Of course.
I hereby resign as mayor. You are the full mayor now. It's your
Just me.
time.
Cool. It's my time.
Scene. Yeah, Kat.
Oh,
That was a blast.
thank you. That was fun, Mr. Mayor.
Oh my God. And thank you for the cover and going with it on the technical hiccup. It's going to happen. I stopped getting worried about it. Just
Yeah,
technical stuff will happen.
him. That's life now, isn't it? It's like you just get used to freezing every so often, and in the real world, we're going to start glitching, I think.
I definitely think when we get back on stage, there's going to be a short form game called Zoom, which will be like just freezing and tweaking at inopportune moments.
Like, we're taking the game freeze to a whole new level, aren't we? It's going to be freeze or mute.
What got you into improv? How'd you get started?
A bit randomly. So I've always been aware of improv because I had friends who did it and I used to watch their shows. And I was always like too chicken to even put my hand up and give suggestions. So I'd always sit on the back row and I'd hide like this, as I'm very tall, so I had to hide because I never wanted to do anything. And then by chance, I went to a festival in Chester, which is near where I live.
Yeah.
And Mr. David Escobedo was running a free workshop. So that was an introduction. And then shortly after that, I met Emma Bird, because she used to do drop-ins, or she still does, but online, but in Liverpool. So I kind of crept into it and still was terrified. And then about 18 months ago, I started doing it regularly. And I was like, oh my God, this is amazing.
I think there's always going to be a level of being scared. There's always a percent, and sometimes it's bigger and sometimes it's smaller. I think it's always there because you've got no guarantee. You're going out there and you're like, let's see what happens. So there's like no guarantee of safety at all in this.
No, and that's it. And you are quite vulnerable at those first times. You don't know what the teachers are like. You don't know what the people are like. You don't know if you're going to make a fool of yourself. And I think it was Emma who made the penny drop for me when she's like, if you make a mistake, you use it as a gift. You don't have to be funny. And she came out and she sort of said, if you can't think of anything to say, make that what you do. You become someone who doesn't say anything. And it was like all these things. And then the penny just dropped and went, it doesn't matter. I could just go up and do anything.
Yeah. It's all about, to me, it's like really about support. And if you're in a situation where you feel supported, then you'll do anything. If you don't feel supported, you're not going to, you're going to play it a lot safer if you don't feel supported. So if you could find those people that make you feel supported, then it's like, man, anything can happen.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that was something David always said, is like, you're only as good as how good you make your partner look, or something along those lines. It's like, yeah. And actually you see it, don't you? And you really feel it when you gel together.
Oh.
Or you kind of find the route together, and it's not all on you.
Yeah.
So it's been a lovely little journey. I kind of dripped into it, and then I went, boom, I'm going to do loads of it. And then we went into lockdown, and then I went, boom, I'm going to do loads of online stuff instead.
I mean, your story isn't, our stories are unique, but in a lot of times our stories are pretty similar. You find a lot of people who have the same thing, who it's like, oh, I saw an ad for improv and I'm like, I should take a class. And then a year later I signed up. That happens a lot.
That's exactly it. And then you think, oh, why did I do this sooner? But you've got to be ready, haven't you? You've got to be in that space. And
the time is now.
Exactly. Yeah. It's there.
I mean, the most fun for me in improv scenes, well, the single most fun I have in an improv scene is playing a cow who is chewing its cud and then running its head into a fence. That to me is like, I have no more fun than that. I don't know why. It's like the most fun is just playing a cow. But the fun is, for me, when my brain can justify and be in that mode. So when somebody makes a mistake, I can go, that's how this world is. That mistake you just said, no, it's not a mistake. That's the world we're in. So then that mistake happens. So then I have to make a mistake similar because we're in that same type of world. And that to me is that's where my brain comes in handy. And it doesn't get in the way. It's like, oh, when I can set my brain to justify, then it has a task to do. Now it's like, cool, I get it. Oh, you mispronounced frying pan, I'll mispronounce the egg. All right, this works. So that is something I've always enjoyed in improv, is like playing the wrong note again and again, or justifying the mistakes.
Yeah, and I think you can apply it to life as well, can't you? But I think some of the most funny scenes I've watched have come from those sort of gifts of mistakes. Like the typical one is when someone walks on or turns the camera on when they're not meant to, but you just make it part of the scene. And I love being an object. I love object work where it's just like, I'm just going to be a boat, or I'm going to be a paddle.
Totally.
I'm going to be a beak. I love that stuff when you kind of characterize and personify anything you want.
Yeah.
You think, what would a beak say? Or
totally. And if we can set our brains on that path and take it off of the path of this isn't logical, it's like, man, I love doing stuff that's not. I had a teacher once who said, nobody wants to see logical on an improv stage. And I love that thing. It's like, oh, I love it when it's like illogical or wrong choices, or like, what would that beak sound like? I think you're inviting the audience on that journey with you. And if you say no, or you block that idea, you're just robbing yourself of that fun that could be had. That's all.
That's so true. It's not a documentary. It's whatever you want it to be, isn't it?
It's improv, right? It's improv.
Yeah, if you don't know anything about computers, just make up the words. It's great.
My favorite is trying to convince, like, when somebody calls me like a pilot or doctor in a scene, I'm like, I'm going to really try to say the words I think would signify I'm a doctor. And even if it's not right, I'm going to say it with confidence. I'm not even going to try and come up with funny terms for like doctor or pilot. I'm like, I really want it, because it's funnier to me, like trying to convince people you are when you're obviously not.
I think that's so good. It's just like, just say it with confidence.
Which again is life. Just say something with confidence. People believe you when you just say it with confidence. So like whatever it is, have that confidence, like when you watch a pilot walk through an airport, they're all about it's like improvise like that. Improvise like you're a pilot going through an airport. with complete confidence. And then if it's wrong, be more wrong. Just keep
Yeah.
doubling down on being wrong.
I hope there's not many pilots who do improvisation.
I know one in this guy Mark Lowe in California. He's great,
That's all right.
but he's always like he was never around because he worked a lot. So it's like he wouldn't be able to do a ton of shows because he was always working and flying. And my friend Laura at Second City in Hollywood, Laura McGee, is a female pilot, and boy, that's a whole nother conversation. Some of the things she has had to go through, but she's a pilot as well. But the same thing, it's like you're off and sometimes you're not around for a while. So
and it just break the norm. I think I find it a really good escapism. So if you've had a busy, hectic day, you kind of just get to go and play, and it's just like a couple of hours where it's like, I'm just gonna play, and I'm gonna have some fun with my friends. And it's really lovely.
And to remind ourselves of, yes, this is play. I'm going to play. I'm not going to a thing I call struggle. I'm going to a thing I call play. So let me play and just let my imagination go and try to spend very little time correcting and dissecting your play, and just go out and play.
Yeah, I think that's really true, and not like going back over there and I should have said this or I should have said that, because actually you can't plan it because it's not a script. If you've got time to write a script, you'd write a script, but it's improvised. So you go, if you say something like cabbage instead of making a risotto, I don't know.
No, that's it.
It's fine because that's what you said in that moment.
Totally, and be okay with that's what I said in that moment. And you know, my buddy goes, whenever it's like I should have done this or that, my buddy's like, oh, you're shooting all over yourself again. And it's like,
oh yeah, that's a good one.
And I go, yeah. And it's a word that creeps in to our life a lot, not just our improv, but our life. And it's like, I should have. And it's like, man, first off, I should be grateful and appreciate what I did. And then if I'm in a situation similar, I can make a different choice. But yeah, to go back and replay your improv scene, it's like, you don't have a time machine. And if you're going to use a time machine and go back and change your improv scene, you should really debate having that time machine, because that's not what it's for.
Yeah. And you're right, though, should is used too much in life. Yeah. It's like, oh, I should have done that instead of, I should have done that course, or I should have done that job, or I should have.
Yeah.
And it's unhealthy, isn't it? Because you can't do anything about it. It's gone. The moment passed.
Yeah, and you get, you start beating yourself up a ton too. And it's like, oh, or just be grateful for that thing that you did. Be like, oh, I did that. I'm grateful for it. And as I continue to move forward, if I'm faced with a similar fork in the road and this way didn't work, then I'll go the other way next time. But like the regret, and as humans, I think we regret the past and fear the future, but we're not present. So for me, improv helps me like get to that moment. But we spend a lot of times like regretting the past, fearing the future. And it's like, if I can get to the point where I'm more just live my life with a little more gratitude, especially when I look around and I go, I'm pretty lucky. I'm pretty lucky. I'm not in any sort of immediate danger. So I'll stay on this path and just appreciate what I did and then move forward. We've got a ton of improv scenes left inside of us. That's not the last improv scene we're ever going to do. So just keep being appreciative and move forward.
Yeah, exactly.
Where can people find you if they want to connect with you or see like shows or things you're doing? What's the easiest way they can do that?
So I'm with Boss Birds, which is a team in Liverpool, but we're online at the moment. So we've got a page of Boss Birds Improv.
Yeah.
I'm also on another online team, Wretched Hive, the UK edition.
Yep.
So that's also available. That's the sci-fi Star Wars trivia. And Boss Birds is an all-women's team, which is very convenient today because International Women's Day today. So we did a little show yesterday on Facebook.
Well, congratulations to all of those teams and for you as well. Like, and that's great. And you're on Facebook as well.
Yes. So I appear as Kathryn Emma. I think. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, you are.
I'm a bit hard to find on social media. I'm a bit new to social media. I'm not savvy with it yet.
Good.
I'm learning. I recently got an Instagram account and I haven't put anything on it yet because I don't know how to use it.
All I know is it's photos.
Yeah,
It's like
square photos, I've noticed.
yeah.
And you have to do lots of hashtagging.
Yeah, you got to hashtag it. Oh,
Yeah.
enjoy the time waste that is Instagram.
I got told I had to have it. It's the things to have. My sister was like, "Yep, go, go, go." It's like, I don't. Yeah, it's
I
a
got
new one.
I know. I got TikTok, but I've done nothing on it. So maybe one day I'll post something. I don't know. But anyway, Kat, listen,
Oh,
it's been so great playing with you. And whether it's in person or virtual, I can't wait to play with you again. Thank
yes,
you so much.
likewise. It's really lovely to meet you
All right, bye.
properly. So take care. Bye.